It's kind of like what I said in the open letter that I'm going to link at the end of this video, that basically defending poor writing by using quote-unquote activism or any other, I would say, marketing tools to kind of obstruct criticism really doesn't work. It's just sort of like a defense mechanism.
A representation that was even deeper, more layered, but also even adding hints of cultural aspects to my action work.
And it doesn't get rid of valid criticism. Because really, a lot of what Cordoba faced and a lot of what most of the people involved in Rings of Power faced was valid criticism. Online, are you going to face slurs? Are you going to face people who hate you? Yeah, you're going to face that. But that was not most of the quote-unquote backlash that Cordoba or anybody else encountered.
It was like I was trying, but every...
So Cordoba says, I think this is the beginning, Cordoba told Variety. I think we would be remiss to not do that, to stop there. So Cordoba also goes on to say that the Rings of Power star faced backlash for his casting as the elven warrior Arondir in Amazon's epic fantasy series. I was viciously and consistently attacked with the most violent, painful racism, he said in his acceptance speech. You wake up bombarded by violence online where people are telling you you shouldn't exist, that your skin color has ruined their favorite childhood books. So diversity does not trump good writing. What trumps good writing? There's really nothing that trumps good writing. What happens is that if we have good writing and we have good dialogue and we have good character development, this works. But just putting in black people or just putting in Hispanics or just putting in other groups of people that you think are needed in the script just to have them doesn't push the story along. There's already diversity in Tolkien. The Swartings are black. We're based on the Ethiopians. So right there, if you wanted to do a spin-off inside of what is already created, you could do that. For example, where is Arondir from? You could have made him an adopted son. You could have made him from a lost elven tribe from the south or to the east. But that's not what was created. I have no problem personally if you want to be an activist, but how does that tie to the actual writing? How does that make and further the next season? From my purview, it really doesn't. My real hope for Rings of Power, and really any of the new Tolkien stuff that's going to come out, is really great writing. Unfortunately, to be quite honest, I think that a lot of the work that's going to come out of Sweden through comic books and some of the properties that the Swedish entities own is probably going to have some of the better writing. And I just say that based on my experience with some of the different Scandinavian studios that produce like detective shows and produce stuff like The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I just kind of feel that potentially the writing coming out of Sweden or anything they're involved with will probably trump Amazon as far as the right. So should there be black elves in the Rings of Power? Should there be black elves in any of Tolkien's work? To be quite honest, I really don't care. It's really not my top plate problem, really not my top plate issue. I really look first at dialogue. I look at, does the story make sense? That's the number one, first and foremost. Those are like really the most important things for me. And that's mostly because an extended period of my time has been spent like around writing. And the point of canon really, as far as Rings of Power or as far as any properties, is to give us like a signpost, to show us the way, to engage us, to lead us, to give us some kind of clarity that we're going in the right direction. if we don't really follow canon, if we don't really follow what's been established, then we get lost. We get kind of caught up in making ish up that doesn't necessarily work. And then really, we often will find that we're coming from a self-centered place where we're not really thinking about others who have cherished the original IP in the first place. So if you made it this far, give me a like, subscribe. If you want a super thank, I'm out.